Blessings and welcome to the path to freedom. This absolutely amazing path where we get to set ourselves free to soar, to be in ever expanding love and joy and peace and harmony and wholeness, where we get to set ourselves free to forever allow for greater and grander expressions of who and what we are, where we get to set ourselves free from fear and worry and doubt and these lower vibrations that are so hijacking the world and the collective human consciousness at this point in time. So welcome here. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and I am very grateful that you are here. I'm very grateful that you're choosing to not be hijacked in this moment, that you're choosing to set yourself free, that you're choosing to take your mind back as we explore and continue to explore different ways of moving along this beautiful path. Today, we are exploring a quote, and I cannot say for sure, and I don't even know when this quote, it just popped into my mind. I would assume that it is from scripture, and I would assume that it is Jesus who at some point says that greater things than these shall ye do, or something like that. And obviously, the way I sort of remember it, he was talking to his disciples, or maybe he was talking to someone else. I don't know. But when this quote popped into my mind, I became aware that this has dual meanings. He was speaking to someone else, inviting them, encouraging them to do more than he was doing, to be of greater service than he was to humanity in assisting individuals to wake up and in assisting for a new world, a new state of being to come into being. But it is not only about us doing something in comparison to what anyone else has done, but greater things than these shall ye do also speaks to and beautifully points to how we continuously are invited to allow for a next great and grand version of who and what we are to emerge. So that regardless of how much we are doing in this moment, we may be beautiful servants and instruments of the divine. We may serve innumerable individuals on a daily basis. But even so, there's always that next level for us to go to. There's always that next great and grand version of who and what we are. There's always room for expansion. And this quote fits perfectly into my life as I'm moving through such an expansion, as I'm being upgraded, as I'm allowing for something new to emerge, something that literally is beyond anything that I've imagined before. Not really true. I have been imagining it for some time, but I didn't see it coming. And I particularly did not see it coming now. And so for all the ways I used to be of service to individuals and to the world and to humanity, something new is now emerging. And it was in this space as the new began to emerge that this quote popped into my mind. So I'm guessing that I was reminded by my soul, by a future version of who and what I am, future Daniel. I was reminded that there is no end destination on this beautiful path. This is an eternal journey. There's always, always, always going to be that next expression, that next opportunity for us to be more and to do more, so that we don't And I remember in this moment, I'm reminded of another quote that goes, foxes have holes and birds have nests, but there is no place for humans, or something like that, to lay their hands or to lay their heads and rest. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was sharing with her that for all the good that is happening, the immense blessings and the immense expansion that is happening in my life, it would be nice from time to time, I would really appreciate to have a moment, a space of just being able to rest. But it's like I have not even finished the training camp or the boot camp for the next stage, for the next expression of who and what I am, before I'm invited to the next boot camp. So there's always stuff for me to do. There's always a space for me to fill. There's always expansion that I need to grow into. And this is, I'm saying relentless, I'm using the word relentless. I'm not really meaning it to be something bad or negative, or I'm not at all meaning it to be something bad and negative. It's just tiresome at sometimes, But greater things than these shall ye do. We never know. And that's the beauty of all of this. We never know. Oh, I was listening to Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith a while ago, and he was sharing he had this event in some place. It was a 2-day event, and he was going to do all these 90-minute sessions with individuals from all over. And as he was sitting on the very first day of the event, he was sitting in the waiting room or backstage or somewhere, and he had picked up a pamphlet introducing him to the audience and to the participants. So he had picked up this pamphlet and he was sort of browsing through it. And obviously his bio was on that pamphlet. And so he read about meeting the Holiness Dalai Lama and doing beautiful work with all these beautiful beings around the world. And he was sharing in this talk that as he was reading all of this, he became aware that none of them were on his vision board. That a number of years ago, much of what was on this pamphlet, what was in his bio, was beyond anything that he had ever imagined. And so we're always in that space and state of not knowing. We can have visions, we can have intentions, we can move forward very intentionally and consciously, but we never know how Spirit, or when Spirit, is going to call us into to move in a new direction. And the expansion that I'm moving through now, it just came out of the blue. I received an email a while ago asking me to perform a service. A service that I had not contemplated performing. They were asking me to do something that I had not ever done before. And from that email and the conversation that we had, now it didn't fall through, so I'm not going to be doing that thing. But that email and what they asked opened a completely new door for me. Because now I became aware that, oh, this is something that I can do. This is actually something that I can do. This is something that I can incorporate into my services, into the way I show up. I had never thought of it before. So it happens sort of coincidentally, with sometimes a sense of haphazardness, but obviously, a spirit always expresses itself perfectly. There is no such thing as coincidence. There is no such thing as happenstance. There is no such thing as luck or chance or any of that. But it is all, and granted, this is in beautiful alignment with my visions, my intentions for my life. This is in beautiful alignment with how I wish to show up, what I wish for my life to be about. Only I had never thought of doing this. I had never thought of moving in this direction until now. So greater things than these shall ye do. So I guess what I'm saying in all of this is that we are so wise to listen, absolutely listen, but to pay attention to that still small voice that is forever and ever and ever whispering words and wisdoms of guidance, words of wisdom and guidance, always beckoning us, nudging us to move into expansion, to move into the unknown, to move outside of our comfort zones, to go beyond what is safe, what is comfortable, what is secure, so that the next great and grand version of who and what we are may emerge. This is the will of spirit. We can call it God, we can call it the universe, we can call it whatever we want to call it. But the will of this loving presence and the purpose of all of life, is so that God, which I choose to call it, is so that God may forever reveal more and more and more of itself in us and through all of creation. So as we are saying yes to this expansion, as we are saying yes to move into the unknown, as we are saying yes to doing the greater things than we've ever done, we are moving in beautiful alignment with the purpose of all of life. This evolutionary impulse that runs through all of creation, that is what that is all about. That is why evolution is happening anywhere. That is why the cosmos and every single cosmos and all of creation is continuously expanding and shape-shifting and changing, so that more of that which Spirit is may be revealed. Not that God may become more or be more, but that more of it may be revealed. So we're so wise to listen, to trust, and to obey that inner, call it intuition, call it a feeling tone, call it a vision that pops into our mind, call it whatever, a dream or a goal, to go for it. It is life's intention, it's life's invitation for us to grow, to unfold, to expand beyond who we are now, and ultimately beyond anything that we've ever imagined. Now, I'm not saying that we're all destined to meet and work with the Holiness Dalai Lama or any other of these beautiful guys and beings and girls and gals. But we're all being called, we're all invited to go beyond anything that we've ever imagined. And I'm reminded in this moment of another statement, another beautiful expression that goes that God begins where our imagination ends. So right at the verge of what we can imagine, that's when and where God really gets to swoop in and invite us to go even deeper and wider and higher. Because we never want to stop. We never want to stop. As good as life is now, it will get better and better and better. As is one definition of heaven, the realm of ever expanding good, the realm of ever expanding good. The more we step into and allow and say yes to the next great and grand version of who and what we are, the more joy-filled our lives will be. The more peace, the more harmony, wholeness, beauty, abundance will flow, not flow into our lives, but emerge from within us. So that we, just as the caterpillar that unbeknownst to itself, I don't believe that the caterpillar even knows what it is doing when it crawls into that cocoon. And I'm pretty sure that the caterpillar does not know what is waiting as it begins to liquefy and dissolve and cease to exist, to give birth, to midwife, to allow for not a better, because it's not about comparison, but a more luminous, more light-filled creature, being to emerge, namely the butterfly. So greater things than these shall ye do, over and over and over again. Let's not ever stop. Let's not ever stop. So the invitation in this moment would be to ask two questions. Or actually, no, the invitation for us is to say yes to that nudging, to that dream, to that vision, to that intention that is beckoning us, that is calling us to say yes to that. We don't need to know how. We don't even need to know what it is. But we can simply say yes to it and give it permission to guide and lead and move us. And so the questions that we're wise to ask, or that we're invited to ask, are: where am I holding back? Where am I hiding behind excuses? Where am I hiding, or how am I hiding so to not need to step into the greatness that I am, that we are, to not step into the excellence? What excuses are we hiding behind? These are beautiful questions, powerful questions. So thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, for joining me. Until we meet again, I absolutely bless all of our days, and I bless all of our ways, knowing, feeling that all is well, that something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for our highest good, now, always, forever. With much love, many blessings. Namaste.